By the end of this video, I want to have this engine completed and back together in this bike. I need to fit a piston before I can fit the cylinder head. I need to fit the stator so I can finish the left-hand side of the engine. And I need to fit a clutch so I can finish the right-hand side of the engine. Now that is a lot of work to do. But if you remember my last video, I left the cylinder and the power valves missing the oil seals. Well, I now have those, so that is where I'm going to start. I started by grabbing the cylinder that I had already worked on up until I discovered I was missing a couple of oil seals. So I took off the end plate and removed the power valve shaft, and I'm hoping that I can leave the valves in this exhaust port. And I'm going to be fitting these two brand new seals. The seals need packing with grease first. Then I can use the seal driver tool to fit them and put the valve shaft back. Starting with the left crankcase, I fit the alternator. Okay, so I was going to use this second-hand piston to fit this into the bike, but I've just discovered that where the piston rings are, there is a little bit of damage on the piston, and I wanted to be able to change the piston rings, but because of that damage, I can't get this piston ring out. So instead, I'm going for a brand new piston, and I'm going to be fitting that instead. Next up, a brand new gasket and a rag to make sure I don't drop anything in the crankcase. This is a piston kit from Pro-X, and it comes with the new ring, a new pin and bearing, and these retaining clips. They're a bit like cert clips, and they stop the piston from moving side to side on the top end. And they're a bit fiddly to fit, but I manage it. And then the piston can be fitted to the top end of the con rod. I line it up and insert the piston pin. And lock it in place with a circlip on the other end. The Pro-X kit comes with a new piston ring, so I fit that. And you can see here I fit the piston the right way. The arrow on the top should point to the exhaust side, and the ring gap is 180 degrees from that. Make sure I get it the right way up. Cylinder next, and at this point I wish I had another pair of hands or a ring compressor. Just look at me trying to manage holding the piston and the head, and at the same time compressing the piston ring so I can slide the barrel onto the piston. But when I got it, what a satisfying feeling knowing this engine is coming together. Torque down the cylinder nuts, and then I couldn't resist turning over the crank to see it all working smoothly. Next up, the clutch. New needle bearing with some oil, and that goes on the crankshaft. Then on goes the outer clutch basket and inner hub. Before I realised I'd forgotten this primary gear needs to go on before the clutch basket. Next I fit the clutch plates, alternating between the friction plates that I've soaked in oil and the steel plates. 8 in total, I think. On goes the outer hub with the 5 clutch springs, and finally the clutch cover. And here it is, about 90% complete. Okay, so full disclosure, between that last clip of me finishing the bike and today has actually been a very, very long amount of time. We kind of went through a stage of not being very motivated, not really finding the time to make the videos. It's been really difficult to find all the parts that I need. Before you know it, like 44 weeks or something has gone by.
44. Fuck.
But I remember why I love doing this, and that is because I really want to build a bike from scratch and build something with my 2 bare hands. That's why I'm back over at the garage today, and we're going to finish off what I started, and I'm going to be putting that engine into the frame of this bike today. All right, so there you go. The 2005 engine is inside the 2001 frame. I mean, I'm still a bit surprised that it even worked, but it worked. And looking at the bike now, it makes me realize just how close I'm getting. There's not too much to do now. Cylinder head, exhaust, carburetor, and then some small pieces like that. And if you want to see where this build started, then make sure you hit this video here. I'll see you in the next one.
You know I got it made.